Seeing that Fluttershy died in the last chapter, let's see how our two girls are going to get out of this one. At first, there's nothing but darkness in front of her. She saw a small, bright white light at the end of what seemed to be a tunnel. That light started to become brighter and brighter, until she felt like she was running towards it. The light was now so close she thought she could reach out and touch it. But just as she was about to be engulfed in it, she felt something like a great gush of wind coming towards her. She was quickly pushed back, and the light quickly disappeared, and the darkness returned. A moment later, she thought she could hear voices. Familiar voices calling out to her in concern, begging her to come back and join them. But as soon as they appeared, they were gone, and she felt nor heard anything again. A while later, she felt her senses return to her one by one. She slowly opened her eyes. First, she could make out a plain gray, a blurred ceiling above her. So closed and opened her eyes several times until her vision cleared. She saw it was definitely a plain green ceiling. But something about it seemed familiar to her, as she woken up with it above her once before. Where am I? She called out to the world. Hush, my dear friend, a voice said, seemingly from beside her. You like his stealing in Fluttershy? See. Fluttershy twisted her head to her right to see who was it that spoke. Her eyes widened when she saw the old gray mare sitting beside the bed which she laid in. Freya? The old horse nodded. Yes, my dear, I am here. You're lucky to be here too. You were more or less dead when you arrived. You made us all with your recovery. Fluttershy brought herself up with a groan as she felt pain down her left side and back. Please, my dear, steam down. Freya said she gently pushed the weakened pony down onto the flat of her bed. But what happened? I remember flooding the chamber and drowning Heimdall, but after that I remember nothing. She suddenly gasped as she remembered the boat's disappearance, and her friends stranded on an island where the water was rising above them. What about my friends? Are they all right? Where are they? Freya raised a hope to silence her. Fine. They are all just fine. Bit sticky after what they and you have been through, but otherwise okay. First I relaxed a little, a small sigh of relief escaping her mouth. But how? The boat was gone. What are our chances to escape? How did we get out here? Freya smiled. It seems you had a guardian angel close by, Fluttershy. This boat carrying these six ponies called themselves the Mighty Nine found you and picked you up and sailed away towards us. I really enjoyed the typhoon. She reminded me of Pinkie Pie. Let's bring her. Trixie doesn't think there are any Critical Role watchers on the show. Oh, more's a pity. But there are. Hi guys, I'll be getting to the second campaign soon. I'm only on episode 40 of something of the original. The water was now coming in on all sides. The boat, was sinking in, had now drifted away. So far that Twilight couldn't get a hold of it with her magic. They were trapped, no way out, and worse, Fluttershy slipped into unconsciousness. She didn't get help soon, she would soon die. She's probably the lucky one, though. So I thought, she won't drown like the rest of us. Well, Flame, Applejack says he wants to water filling up the island. Against this lake, girls. The 5 ponies had dragged Fluttershy up to the highest point of the island as the water began filling up the banks. They moved behind to see the water filling up the stairway, the light to Heimdall's prison was now become his tomb. It's been great, you know, Twilight said with a sad smile. I'm glad to have known you all. You make it sound as if it's the end, Twilight Sparkle. A voice called out from the heavens. 5 ponies looked up and gasped with joy and relief as Vidar descended from the sky towards them. He landed before them and got into his belly. Quickly, clusters. Onto my back. What the Fluttershy? Rainbow asked as she took to the air. The other 4 ponies quickly jumped up and clung to Vidar's back. No worries, Rainbow Dash. I got her. He picked up the unconscious pony in his claws and took to the air. Just before the island disappeared under the rising water. The 5 ponies and 1 dragon watched as the water stopped flowing down from the mountains. The horse could see returned to his calm nature once more. It was as if nothing had happened. Satisfied, Vidar swooped around and headed east. We have to get Fluttershy some medical attention, Vidar. Now! Twilight shouted. Try to make yourself heard to the sound of Vidar's wings as he beat against the air. I'm taking you all to Castilian first, I sparkle. First I fireways, so receive medical attention there. Vidar replied. But she won't survive the journey there! Rainbow called up from her place next to Fluttershy. She placed a hoof on the Pegasus' cheek. She was trying to hold back tears as she felt her friend getting colder by the second. She needs help! Now! Vidar could feel the last of the Dragonlord's lifeblood fading in his claws. Rainbow was right. Fluttershy would not survive the journey there. He had to take matters in his own claws. Can you do anything to help her, Vidar? Piggy asked, sniffing back tears. Looked down and saw a large clearing, large enough for him to land in. Looked back at Pinky and smiled. Picking me to die on pie. Just you watch me. Hold on! He belted upon his house back. Another warning. He plummeted towards the ground, a little back before he returned hitting the ground. He stopped Fluttershy to the ground, took back to the air, hovering just a few feet off the ground. Rainbow shot to the ground and up to Fluttershy to see if she was all right from the tumble. Her heart broke when she saw her friend was now cold, too cold to still be alive. She put a hope to where her friend's heart was, and felt nothing, her heart forgetting to continue beating. She moved the hope to where her pulse would be, and again felt nothing. Fluttershy was dead. Quick! Somebody get a cleric! Is there a cleric in the house? For murderers, Vidar said delicately. Stand aside. Rainbow turned to face the dragon, her face revealing complete devastation. There's no point, Vidar. She's dead. The boys of the dragon's boat put their hosts in their mouths in shock, even as tears poured down faces. Murderers, I'm asking you to stand aside, please. Vidar persisted. There's no point doing anything if she's dead! Rainbow shrieked, tears pouring down her face. I failed her. I said I'd protect her. Look out for her. She in turn will look out for me. And now she's dead! I could still save her, Rainbow Jazz. But if you don't get out of the way now, she will truly be dead. And only yourself will be to blame. Vidar said, getting angrier by the second. So out of the way, he growled. When Rainbow wouldn't move, he broke in her grief and loss of her friend. I need you to trust me, Rainbow Dash. Like Fluttershy Firewing did. Can you do that? Rainbow looked from the ground to the dragon with a look of shock. He was right. Fluttershy, a pony who was terrified of dragons since she had known her, could trust him, just so could she. All right, Vidar, I trust you, she said, nodding in approval. But please move away from her. We don't have much time left. Rainbow got out of the way to stand below him. She sat down, put her hose over her mouth, even as tears spilled from her eyes. With Rainbow out of the way, Vidar then raised his head to the sky and began to chant, supposedly draconic. Iris had no idea what he was saying, but Twilight could tell it was something like a spell being cast, like the mages of old. He suddenly stopped chanting. His eyes lit up with unnatural fire. She had a shot of golden flame erupted from his mouth and covered Fluttershy's body. A minute later, he stopped setting up flames from his mouth, and with a swipe of his claw, extinguished the yellow flames around the regular body. Yara's watched and waited as Fluttershy lay at her side, not moving. We weren't even sure she was still breathing. Suddenly, a shrill gasp escaped from Fluttershy. Her eyes shot open, and her chest rose and fell in quick succession as the Pegasus got her breath back. Rainbow started galloping over her, wrapping her in a hug. It stopped when Fluttershy's chest fell again, silencing her heavy breathing. Eyes closed as he drifted back to sleep. Rainbow looked from Fluttershy to Vidar with a fierce glare. What did you do? I saved her life, Rainbow Dash. She'll be in a deep sleep for about a week, while her body recovers from her ordeal. Her injuries will need some caring, but other than that, she will live. Vidar said calmly. She gently picked Fluttershy up once again and took to the air, making his way to Castilian. How did you do that, Vidar? Twilight asked. I thought healing magic on that scale didn't exist. Vidar chuckled at this. Magic is a force of energy that has no limitations, no master. It's entirely unpredictable. No one would ever understand it, and no one would truly be able to master it. Not even the Princess Celestia Solaris and Princess Luna Nocturnus Solaris. and I know them to be the most powerful mages in all of Terra. Oh my gosh, guys, I I just realized this. In fall, I had kept using the last name of Solaris for both Luna and Celestia because I genuinely didn't know where they came from. I just thought it was a really good name. So I gave it to them because I thought it was a cool name. Now I realized it came from this. It came from this fic. That's where it popped up on. Don't wonders ever cease. It showed up here, and that's actually pretty cool. Wait, you know the princesses? Fly asked. I know of every ruler on this world, but those two have always had a special place in my heart. Fighter replied, a thin smile on his lips as he remembered them. They fell silent once more as they left the mountainous regions to the west and were flying above a large flat plain. Rainbow was still flying close to Fluttershy. Made sure she was all right still. And sure enough, when Rainbow placed a hoof on Fluttershy's cheek, it was warm rather than cold. That made the Pegasus' heart slow and pace as her fears over her friend's well-being receded. Soon, they got sight of the great city Castilian. Rainbow Dash, would you be able to go down there and tell them I mean them no harm? I have 6 employees who are in need of medical attention, please. Fighter asked. Rainbow flew to Fighter's face. Saluting, raced off into the distance towards the city. As he closed in, she could see several of the inhabitants start to flee towards a large building on top of the hill. While the guards were setting up defenses, Rainbow noticed Freya giving out commands to the others from the large building on top of the hill. She dived down and landed right in front of the old great horse. Stop! Don't shoot him! Rainbow cried. Freya looked shocked at seeing Rainbow dash there. She was here. Fluttershy was here also. Everyone, stand down! She yelled out to the city. And elected crossbow horses and horse collars stood down, allowing Fighter to fly over their heads. Fighter hovered over the courtyard, lowered his claw, holding Fluttershy to the ground, allowing the Pegasus body to roll off his claw and onto the ground. Freya covered her mouth with a hoof in shock at the sight of Fluttershy's injuries. Horse keen to Fire's beckoning, and with some difficulty carried Fluttershy in the back inside the hall. She will live, Freya Polynemo of Horsecar, but her wounds will take a long time to heal. So try to be careful with her. Make sure none of them reopen. Thank you, Dragon, for bringing her here, Freya said. One more thing. Can I leave her friends in your care as well? They have been through a great ordeal. He leaned his head closer to whisper, and may need some help to get over it. I understand. Thank you again, Freya said, bowing her head to the dragon. The dragon bowed his head in return, and let the other passengers off. How did you know we were in trouble? Verity asked. I heard your voices as you shouted your goodbyes to the world, Verity Turquoise. Fighter said with a smile. Well, we owe you your last, partner, Elbsack said. It was my duty as a Dragonlord, nothing more. Now I'll let you rest. Goodbye for now. Fighter took to the air and was soon gone, just like a spot in the sky. After the dragon had gone, I gave you my room and the others guest rooms to your friends. That's how it's been for the last week. Your friends are huddling at your side, Freya finished. First I tried to sit upright again, but I only made it halfway when her body screamed out in protest. She gritted her teeth and went back down with a sigh. She tried to spread open her wings, and found she couldn't either. She felt her right wing was okay, but her eyes widened hard when she couldn't feel her left wing. My wing! What happened to my left wing? Freya gave her a sad smile. It's fine. It's just tightly bandaged around your body. First I pushed off the covers to see if she was right. Her left wing, that Fire's hail had smashed beneath a heavy number of bandages wrapped around her belly and back. We were able to save it thanks to Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, and nods of Pegasus wings. You won't be able to fly yet, but you will. I'm afraid, however, you'll not be able to fly as well as you used to. It was a sad state when you got here, Freya explained. Fluttershy smiled half-heartedly. It's okay. As long as I can fly, I should be all right. I don't know what I would do without them to feed my flying animal friends. What happened to bring it and yourself in such a horrible state? First, I looked from her bed as Sister Freya and smiled. It's a long story. Suddenly, they heard the sound of the door opening. And Fluttershy looked to the door and smiled wide when the heads of Twilight, Applejack, Rainbow, Piggy, and Rarity peered through, their faces holding large grins to the side of their friend and wink. Girls! She screamed in joy. The 5 ponies rushed over and jumped Fluttershy in a hug, tears of joy in their eyes, all talking at once. Fluttershy felt tears in her eyes. When Werewolf was ready to sight seeing her friends again, her pain ran down her back. She didn't know or care. It's worth it just to see her friends again. Don't you ever worry like this, like that again, Fluttershy! Do you hear me? Rainbow cried, embracing the Pegasus harder. I won't, Fluttershy replied. They all sat around the bed, grinning away like it was heartwarming Eve, and talking all at once. Beside them, Freya smiled at the warming scene in front of her. I'll let you get on. She said as she got up from her seat, persistent. I look forward to hearing this tale of yours. She turned around and let the 6 ponies together. Are you girls all right? Fluttershy asked once Freya had gone. Fluttershy had such a good look at them all. They all had nice small pink scars for the cuts that were too slow to avoid swings and such, but were healing nicely. Rarity had the remains of a black eye ruining her left eye. Large bruise on her cheek, but she was grinning. We're fine, Twice said. A bit sore in places, but otherwise good. Yeah, it's your Sylvie should be worried about more, Rainbow said. How the heck would you take whatever crushed your side and still be here? When you were examined by a doctor about your injuries, it was amazing to see that your whole side had basically been crushed, and you were still alive, Twilight explained. With me and Rainbow, we managed to save your left leg from being amputated. Thanks, I know. And thanks to you both, I'll be able to fly, Fluttershy said. Verity leaned up on the bed. No, darling, thank you. You saved us with all your actions. Gave us all a better world. Fluttershy smiled at her. It's a team effort, Rarity. Without any of you, I don't think I would have gone far, or even fought and lived to tell the tale. She leaned back flat in the bed. So, what have you all been up to while I was sleeping? She asked in a bid to start the conversation. 5 mares looked at each other, slightly taken aback at the question. Fluttershy, we've all been here looking after you and making sure you're all right. Yeah, he said. We never left here except for eating, going to the bathroom, and sleeping. Fluttershy looked at them all in shock. You didn't have to do that, girls. Sugar Cube, we couldn't explore the city and enjoy ourselves knowing the state you were in, Applejack said. We knew you would be fine, so I said. We'll wake up sooner or later, but it did change our minds of leaving your side. Yep, Rainbow said, nodding in agreement. Besides, we had fun together, told jokes, a few secrets the princess we once had, or have, an all-around good laugh. The tear died down when we looked at you, and we all went super sad for a moment. And then we cheered up again, knowing you would wake up. And there'd be hugs and tears of joy, and everything would be all right in the world. Piggy finished. As I smiled at each of them. I appreciate you all staying with me, but I bet you don't want to be cooped up here while there's a beautiful city to explore. She gestured to the door. Go and have some fun. I think I'll be all right from now on, really. They looked at each other, wondering whether they should or not. Eventually, Applejack sighed. Will you all be all right? Truthfully? Fluttershy nodded. Of course I will. I'm awake now, so you don't have a reason to be worried about me anymore, and I don't want to be a burden on you. Rainbow tilted her head. You were never a burden on us, Fluttershy, and we'll always worry about you, even if you are so genetically augmented super warrior. Rainbow looked to the door, then back to Fluttershy with a cheeky grin on her face. You won't go anywhere, will you? Fluttershy looked at her with narrow eyes and a small smile. I was hoping you would resist the audacity to say that. How could I? Rainbow asked with a smirk. We'll be back later then, okay? Fluttershy nodded. Yes, now go. Have some fun, she said to him. Was still unsure. The 5 ponies said their goodbyes and fled out of the room. Oh, in Twilight? Unicorn turned around and walked back to the bedside. What is it? Once she could understand what was happening, Fluttershy leaned over and wrapped the firelights around the unicorn. Thank you for saving my life in Heimdar's prison. Twilight chuckled and placed a hoof around the shoulders of her friend. You're most welcome. She pulled away. Are you sure you'll be all right? I'm sure. Fluttershy said, dismissively with a hoof. Besides, haven't you wanted to study the horse-skin language a bit more? Yeah, but I couldn't do it properly, knowing the state you are in. But you can now, right? Twilight shrugged. I suppose. Won't be long. She hugged Pegasus one last time and carried out the room, leaving Fluttershy to relax. Okay, she sighed to herself. Now I can just relax and let the day go by. A few hours later, Fluttershy found herself banging her head gently against the back of the bed, trying to overcome the agony of boredom. She was resting on her right side after discovering being on her back for a while made it feel like 100 pins were piercing her back. Bored, 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 she said every time she had met the bedboard of her bed. Being a pony that loved animals, she was quite active most of the time. So, being confined to her bed usually felt like sitting at attention back in school. Even when she was confined to her bed, she usually had a book to let her read as her nature run riot. Now she didn't even have that. Most of the books, like Twilight said, were in Horskin, and such were impossible to read. She wished Dragonlords had the ability to read every language ever made. That would make the hours flow by nicer. Sorry, Fluttershy, but according to my character sheet maker here, you don't get that till level 3. After what felt like another hour, though I'll only admit, she finally had enough. Now I know how Rainbow felt when she was in the hospital. Then again, she had a daring Duke book with her, she said to herself. Her eyes wandered around, starting to think of something to do other than lying here because she needed some sympathy. Especially she loved her friends. She didn't want them worrying over her on every whim she wanted because she couldn't do anything. Besides, it gave her some time to think alone without them. She put down her back and suddenly came up with an idea. She realized this would probably hurt, but she wanted to know what Hydra had done to her when he brought his sword down her back. Gritting her teeth, she moved the leg out of bed, brought it down to the ground. She pressed down to make sure it wouldn't hurt. She breathed a sigh of relief when it didn't. Part 1 okay. Time for part 2. She shifted herself so her front half was off the bed, both forelegs were on the floor. She breathed a sigh of relief to see they were okay. Began to move slowly out of the bed to get on all fours. Her legs felt achy and thought they might begin creaking, but she was glad when they all seemed okay. She began moving to the bathroom in the hope to find a mirror. But stopped when she felt a sharp pain coming from her left hind leg. She lifted her hind leg and looked heavily into the bathroom, gasping in pain every time her left hind leg could come down. The bathroom was decorated with around 10 beautiful tapestries of rearing horses opposing each other on all the walls. The furthest corner from the floor was a large wooden bathroom tub, big enough to fill her and all her friends. The opposite corner was a hole for a toilet. Raised against the wall, the closest door, was a large mirror. A dark bronze frame, the head of a horse and the asses facing each other. It was set up a young horse, the size of Fluttershy could look in on herself. She gasped when she saw the 3 pink scars ran along her left cheek, with one barely missing her eye, and one running to the corner of her mouth. She was surprised none of her friends quoted something about it. Probably not to upset me, she thought. She didn't know if it would be covered up by her coat once it had regrown, but she couldn't help to think it made her look cooler in some way. She giggled lightly at the thought. I'm beginning to think like Rainbow Dash. Her eyes moved to the scars on her back. Just one piece of canvas, she thought. Time to see what he did to my back. Fluttershy brought a hoof and began removing the bandages from her back, taking care not to break the ones that held her wing together. Eventually, she felt the last piece of bandages peel off her coat, feeling like it took some of her coat with it. She turned around and reared up, with only loose pressure on the hurting leg. Looked in the mirror, she gasped at the wound. It was a large pink scar, ran right from between her shoulder blades to the tip of her tail. She realized if it got any deeper, it would have cut her tail in half. She shuddered at the thought of dying that way. She ran a hoof right along the scar, and although it looked, as she figured how Rainbow would put it, pretty awesome, she couldn't help but wonder how long it would be there. A few days, weeks, months, her entire life? She turned around again and saw a part of her left side seemed a bit out of shape compared to the right. Barely noticeable, however. The reason I saw it was because of her amazing eyesight. I'll ask my friends if they notice it. She set herself back on all fours and turned around, preparing to get back to bed. But stopped when she saw the bathtub. She smelled herself to be sure and realized she did stink. I could do with a bath. She found a stepladder that was set aside for fools. tall enough to allow her to climb into the tub with some minor difficulty. She was able to get the tap to work with. Again, minor difficulty. Soon as she was sitting in a large pool of warm water that felt as comfortable as wool. She let out a relaxing sigh and rested her head on the bath beds, glad that now it was over, she would be allowed to mourn her father. Her eyes snapped open as she remembered the promise she made to herself the day he was killed. Just as that thought came to her mind, her eyes began to glitter with tears. Another thought came to her mind. I never said goodbye, she thought sadly. I never even told him I loved him. And with that thought, the dam suddenly split open, and all the emotions she held in since that day spilled out into her hose. She felt like she could cry for hours, and didn't care if anyone said otherwise. A minute later, her ears twisted to the sound of the door opening, and the certain voices of her friends. Twilight looked at the bathroom. Upon seeing Fluttershy in tears, raised up the ladder and lovingly embraced her around the neck. Fluttershy returned the gesture quickly after. Just let it all out, Twilight cooed softly, not rubbing her back in case it put her in more pain. I just remembered. I never even told him I loved him. Fluttershy sobbed. She tightened her hold around the unicorn and cried even more fiercely than before. I don't think you needed to, Fluttershy, Twilight said softly. Love emanates from your eyes. I'm certain your father would have known. Applejack, Rainbow, Rarity, and Pinkie came in quickly soon after. Joined a comforting hug as they allowed the Pegasus to finally grieve her father. After what seemed like an hour, all that was coming from Fluttershy was just little sniffles, and droplets like rainwater raining down her cheeks. She removed her face from Twilight's chest to reveal her bloodshot eyes. After crying so hard, her wet cheeks glistened in the low light. Thanks for that, girls, she whispered, wiping her eyes with her hose. I needed that, I think. Of course you did, darling, Rarity said softly. After what you've been through, I think you've earned it. The 4 ponies beside her nodded in agreement. Fluttershy smiled gratefully. Anyway, what are you doing here? Rainbow asked. You should be bred resting. I got bored and realized I started to smell. So I wanted to bath and relax a bit, Fluttershy replied. But what about your wounds? Rainbow persisted. Were you okay getting up? Were you in pain? Rainbow was fine, really. I limped a little, but otherwise I'm fine. No, you're not fine. You said yourself you're living. Now come on, let's get you back to bed and rest. Fluttershy was touched by Rainbow's concern over her well-being, even as he felt it was really unnecessary. She truly was the sister Fluttershy never had. It meant an easier pony to tease. Why are you looking at me like that? Rainbow asked, noticing the predatory grin appearing on Fluttershy's face. Why is she looking at me like that? She asked the others, but just as confused. Okay, seriously, Fluttershy, you can stop now. Before anyone knew what happened, Fluttershy flung herself onto Rainbow and pulled her into the water with her, laughing while Rainbow screamed like a filly. 4 ponies outside the tub looked perplexed at the sudden move. Then, one after the other, began to laugh. A second later, Rainbow emerged from below the waterline, spitting water out of her mouth and looking at Fluttershy with a glare. The Pegasus didn't care, or notice, for she was too busy laughing. I never heard you scream like that before, Rainbow, she got out between breaths. Rainbow's glare softened to a smirk. You'll pay for that. She raised the hoof in the air, splashed water over Fluttershy, who instantly stopped laughing upon feeling her face get drenched. She went on to socket the other Pegasus, and began to laugh. Oh, it's on, Fluttershy said with a grin, and splashing water in Rainbow's direction, which in turn began splashing water in hers. All the while, both ponies began giggling like little fillies. Oh, do be careful, you two, Rarity advised. I would hate for you to hurt yourselves, not to mention ruin your beautiful manes. The 2 ponies stopped splashing at each other, then looked at Rarity emotionlessly for a moment. Then back at each other, back to her with the same grin Fluttershy gave to Rainbow, or tackling her into the wire. As well, the 2 ponies got a hold of her feet and pulled Rarity into the wire, Unicorn giving a cry of alarm and a plea to the others for help. They just laughed as Rarity emerged once again soaking wet, mascara running down her face. Unicorn, looking at the 2 Pegasi, grinned. Oh, it is on! She lifted both of them in the air, crossed them in the wire, splashing at both of them. Twilight behind her. Hey, if that was a challenge, then it's been accepted, Twilight said, jumping in and also laughing. Applejack took off her hat and placed it on the ground. Best you stay out of this one, she reasoned with it. She jumped to the air, crying out, Geronimo! As he did so, belly diving in. being careful not to hit Fireside her anymore. Firefight? Mountain? I'm insulted. Pinky exclaimed. She jumped in the air, rose, fell into a ball, did a cannonball in a large bathtub. Six ponies laughed as they jumped about each other, splashing each other. Basically, celebrating the victory and survival with good cheer. This fic is way too good with these heartwarming moments. Trixie, we need something bad on this show. Remind me to do something Friday. You're right. After a quarter of an hour, the flashing died down. Six ponies went to the corner of the bathtub, out of breath from laughing so hard, forelegs aching from exhaustion. They grinned at each other. No words needed to say what was on their mind. It felt good to be alive. At least, that was on Fireside's mind anyway. She imagined her father wouldn't want her to be mourning for him for the rest of her life, no matter how long that would be. So instead of grieving for him, she will remember him as she knew him. Kind, fierce, evil humor, but also a loving father, went to every life to keep a promise he made to her mother. Sit! What will we do tonight? Jack asked. Twilight on a relaxing side sunk a little to the wire. I think we should just relax, enjoy the wire. She turned her head around as if to call Spike to do something for her. She stopped halfway and her ears fell flat. She remembered he was back home, safe. Parasite eased closer, gritting her teeth as he held down the pain, patting a corner on the shoulder. We'll see you soon, Twilight. That, would you all like to go home now, while I stay here and to get better? That's never gonna happen, Sugar Cube, Applejack said, shocking the suggestion. We came to Horse Cut look for you, and we're not gonna leave without you, Rainbow said. This son, if you're missing your family, that... Oh, darling, me now, Rarity said. Well then, we didn't know if we would see them again. Now we can relax, recover from our wounds, knowing we will see them again. Oh, well, if you're all sure, Fireside said, looking at each of them. We are. That, I don't think I've been sure of anything than yes, Twilight said. That, the 6 ponies sunk until all their heads were above the waterline, relaxing, enjoying the tranquility of the bath, the pleasure of each other's company. Fireside's ears suddenly twisted when she heard the room door opening. Hello, Fetisai. Are you in? Freya's voice echoed from the other room. Fetisai turned her head to face the door. Freya, in here, she called. A little later, Freya emerged through the bathroom door, looking tired, with a small smile on her face. Her head rose in surprise when she saw the others in the bath as well. Hello, everybody. Is this how you say hello to multiple ponies back home? Freya asked. The 6 ponies nodded their heads. Freya breathed a sigh of relief. Good. It wouldn't look good to visit Equestria and make myself look like an idiot. You're planning a visit to Equestria? First I asked, excitement at the idea playing in her tone. Oh, yes, Freya answered with a nod. With the unification of the country, I must start planning with Princess Leslie and Nuna on reopening trade routes to our countries. They are the rulers of your country still, aren't they? Sir arguments, like Abstract answered. Freya nodded. Well, that's good. She moved to put more weight on one side. Anyway, as I had time off and nothing else to do for the moment, I was waiting for the side. If you were willing to share your story for me. Osai's grin faded slightly as he looked to the wire. It'd be hard to go through it all, especially the most horrid moments of the experience. But she thought it'd be liberating for her. She looked back at Freya and began telling her what happened after living here in Castilian, flying out towards the Ragged Mountains. Talk of catacombs that lie deep within the mountain range. It was a Dragonlord fortress, meeting Firewing and him, and her heading deep into the forest and steppes, where she discovered her heritage as a Dragonlord, and her father. Firewing. Firewing's your father? Freya exclaimed. First I nodded. Freya blew out a lot of air. I find that hard to believe, to be honest. The severance between you two is practically non-existent. First I didn't take offense to the thought. First, I found it hard to believe. I was angry at first and yelled at him. So after he showed me this picture of him and my mother, I couldn't die anymore. I'm surprised he's not with you. Where did he go? Fireside's eyes veered away from Freya's gaze. He died. The dragon that attacked Andalusia killed him. I killed the dragon in return. Freya's mouth hung open as her ears fell flat. Brother Hofluff, my dear, I am so sorry. Is there anything I could do to help you? Fluttershy smiled warmly. Don't worry about me, Freya. Just worry about your own loss. Besides, my father wouldn't want me to cry over him. If you're sure, Freya said. What happened next? There's something I didn't tell you when I last met you. Fluttershy said, her eyes downcast. Noticed that there were two reasons we were at Ironhoof Fortress. Freya nodded in response. Well, the first reason was inside the fortress itself. She went about how she and her friends slammed down into the river and sewers, but sewers into the keep itself. Now she and Rarity met Barris Valenta. How she fought her after hurting Rarity. Wait, you gave those wounds to the Baroness? First eyes widened at the mention of the horse's name. What happened to her? Is she all right? Freya's eyes lowered and her hair fell flat. First, I didn't need to be told anymore. I killed her, she whispered, shaking her head in disbelief. You had nothing to do with the Baroness's death, Fluttershy. I didn't. No. Those wounds you gave her were not deep enough to be considered fatal. She took a heavy dose of sleeping tablets in the end. Killed herself rather than be captured by my soldiers. Sad, really. You should know she lost her entire family in the dragon attack on Andalusia. The 6 Ponies gasped. I never knew, Fluttershy said. She wished now she could go back in time and help and comfort the poor mare, rather than bring out her swords to try to kill her. She looked back up again at Freya, saw something else in her eyes that looked at her. Disappointment or something else. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about going to the fortress. It's just, I didn't know. I didn't want to get involved or hurt my expense. Freya nodded. I'm not mad, just confused. Why did you need to go in now? First I began telling the story of Heimdall and the 5,000-year-old war between him and the Dragonlords. Freya's eyes widened in horror as Fluttershy told her about how he committed genocide. Burnt entire cities and wiped out armies, even after he was supposedly killed, and continued to do so. I needed to get inside the fortress because the fifth key had the ability to block Heimdall's magic inside. Fluttershy finished to pause the breath. Freya nodded in understanding. So these keys, did they work? Fluttershy's eyes lowered. Kinda, she replied. She went about her friends and faced them in the prison, and how he tricked him and duplicated himself so he could walk through the front door. She talked of the battle that followed, and how she managed to fight her way through. The final duel of Heimdall. The 5 ponies behind her never knew what happened to her or Heimdall. So as he began telling the final duel, their jaws dropped in horror when she found how her side was crushed, scratches on her face and slashes on her back. By the time Fluttershy was done recounting her story, Freya's jaw hung off her mouth and eyes were wide. That was incredible. Truly something legends. Freya closed her mouth before her smile. You're amazing, Fluttershy. Fluttershy blushed and bashfully looked away. Not that amazing. Not as amazing as these ponies. She swam back from the edge and put her forelegs around them all. Wouldn't even made it without them. Probably wouldn't even have thought they weren't there to put me back on my horse. Freya smiled and went a while at that. So modest, brave. Well, equals were like your friends, then this world would have been a better place. She turned towards the door and began to walk out. Once she left, she looked back and heard with a loving smile. You have done more than save Equestria, Fluttershy. You saved the world. You have my sincere gratitude and my love. She waved to them all. Once round, she went back to the main hall. Once Freya was gone, she let out a young on. Time to go back to sleep. Yeah, sleep sounds nice right now. She swam to the edge of the tub so she could jump out. Only headways when a number of guards came from behind her. Darling, you're back! Rarity cried. Oh yeah, that. She looked behind her, barely making out the long scratch that scarred her back. Do you think it'll stay like that forever? Twine moved closer and ran a hoof along it. Does it hurt? She asked. A little. Twilight grimaced and put her hoof away as if on fire. Then I'm not so sure, to be honest, Twilight said. Probably stop hurting after a while, but whether or not your coat will grow over it, I don't know. All the same, Rainbow said with a small smile, it does look pretty awesome. The other ponies glared at her. What? It does? No pony back home is going to believe a dragon with a sword gave that to you. Still, you look pretty cool with those stars along your face. First, I only giggled. I feel you just kind of like that. You know me far too well, Rainbow chuckled. I don't know about the rest of you, but water's getting too cold for me. Think I'll head out. She swam to the edge and jumped out. Held Fluttershy down, taking her by the shoulders delicately. You know, Thick, for a story that doesn't want to put in much flutterdash, you are giving me tons of flutterdash material. Twilight, Pinky, Verity, and Applejack soon jumped out of the well, dried off, while Rainbow remade Fluttershy's bed cleaned it up. Once done, Fluttershy hopped down and laid down, shifting about until she felt comfortable. What? Are you happy that was set off of bed? I can't believe how quick the day has gone, Verity said. We see them all then. The others waved to her, turned around and headed to their own rooms. Wait! She called out. They all turned and looked at her. I was wondering if you want to, Dennis. Could you stay with me for this night, please? She asked him. Her tone suggested she was pleading for them to. The others looked at her. The last time Fluttershy was alone after waking from a horrific experience was when all this began. That night, she had the nightmare that started her journey. Rainbow heard about this and was determined never to have it again. Without words, she hopped up into bed and settled down next to Fluttershy. Her face is smiling in thanks. Rainbow spread her wing out and used it as a shield, covering Fluttershy. The wing was surprisingly soft. It was like a dove's she had back home. Just as comforting. First I looked to her side to see Twilight snuggling up to her, next pillow next to her, smiling thanks to her. Owlsack jumped up next, settled himself down next to Twilight. Verity and Pinky moved the light next to Rainbow. Thank you, girls, she whispered before drifting off to sleep, surrounded by her friends. Oh! My heart! Oh! Oh! Ah! This is... Ow! 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 Darn you, Fick. Putties, I was wondering if you would like some dinner. Freya said as she walked through the door with a tray of food on her back. Cut herself off as she saw the 6 ponies lying on a bed fast asleep, huddled together. Freya smiled. They truly were the bestest of friends. Instead of leaving them asleep, she tiptoed over the wardrobe, opened it, and got out a huge duvet for the bed. Never she right onto them, careful not to drop the tray of food on her back and wake them. Zack and Pinky stirred a little, but otherwise were untroubled by the slight disturbance. Good night, my little ponies, she whispered sweetly, before turning around, walking out the door, leaving the ponies to their slumber. Ow! Ow! Oh, that was too sweet!